and welcome to the Situationship Expert YouTube channel. I am your host, India Lynn, also known as the Situationship Expert, first on TikTok, now on YouTube. If it is your first time here, welcome. If it is not your first time here, welcome back. We are talking love part 2. All right, if you didn't see my first video on love, definitely check that out. This is segueing into the extension of what I already discussed. So I would strongly suggest you go back to that video first before watching this one, or if you're just nosy, you can hang around. But it's a little bit difficult to judge or critique a video because I know some of y'all like to do that, right? If you didn't see the first part, right, or if there is something that I speak on first that I think is important. But anyway, let's hop into the topic. We are talking on love, but this time we're talking specifically about loving yourself. I touched on it a little bit in the first video, but I wanted to go more in depth on that. I wanted to share more of my thoughts regarding loving yourself and the importance of it, right? So if you didn't already also see my video on contentment, knowing yourself, that really ties into this theme as well. I digress. Let's hop into it. Loving yourself. I don't think enough people understand that if you don't love yourself, it's going to be very difficult to love anyone else. Again, if you don't love yourself, it's going to be very, very difficult to love anyone else. And the reason I say this is because if your partner, and I believe I said this in another video, but if your partner exhausts too much energy pouring into you, they will eventually be exhausted in the relationship. Emotionally exhausted, maybe just psychologically exhausted, because everyone can't be your counselor. Everyone can't be a therapist to you. And it's not to say that you can't have a partner listen to you, give you advice, encourage you. But if that is their side hustle, or their second full-time job, it's easy to get tired of it. And this is not to say that you shouldn't open up to your partner, but ultimately, this is about you. This is about you falling in love with you. Not in an arrogant way, not in a prideful way, but in a I am choosing to love me kind of way. And I hope that by the end of this video, you understand where I'm coming from with this. So I'm just going to be honest with you. I used to struggle with self-esteem, confidence. I had several insecurities mentioned in my last video. I started pouring more into myself. I'm going to explain how I started to grow in confidence. Now, again, the beautiful thing about this advice is you can take it or you can leave it, right? Either or. I'm not going to be offended. But if you take this advice, try the advice. Let me know the results, I would say within 30 days. Be consistent for at least 30 days. It doesn't mean you have to do what I'm telling you every single day, but at least a few times a week for about 30 days. Implement what I'm telling you in this video, and then let me know your feedback, right? You might start seeing results within less than a month, but I'm telling you, try it for at least a month. Your life might actually change, all right? And I want to hear how it changes in a positive way, or maybe in a not so positive way, but I can only imagine it being positive. But what I'm going to discuss is things I did physically to help myself, right? And there are different areas in which you can help yourself physically. First and foremost, taking care of myself. Watching what I eat. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not as good with watching what I eat, but I try and balance out my meals because I know at this age in my life, I can't not balance out what I eat. I'm asking for trouble. But watching what I eat, taking care of myself physically, in terms of working out or doing some form of physical exercise that helps me to maintain my weight or work toward any weight goals that I have. Another thing that I started doing was making sure I was hydrated. Little things. I had less headaches because I drank more water. Had a little bit more energy because I drank more water. Taking supplements. I know some people might say that's what I don't want to do that, right? But sometimes you need that boost. Sometimes you need that pick me up. Sometimes you need that extra, whatever it is that you're lacking, right? Or you're deficient in. Start taking those supplements, right? We got to take care of ourselves. Sometimes the reason why we feel down isn't necessarily because we need someone to tell us how great we are or encourage us or take us out on a date. Sometimes we just have to take care of our health. Get a little bit more sleep at night. I'm telling you, get an extra hour of sleep if possible. If possible, another hour of sleep, another half hour. It will change your life. Drinking more water, watching what you eat, working out, physical things that you can do for yourself will improve your life. I started going to bed earlier. I stopped acting like I was in my 20s, like I can run on 4 hours of sleep. No, I can't. and it shows in my attitude, in the energy I exude. I'm telling you, when you start doing a few of these things for at least a month, I'm telling you, you're going to feel the difference. Just try a few or at least one of the things I mentioned. More sleep, drinking more water, balancing your meals out, being a little bit physical, even if it's working out for, I don't know, 20 to 40 minutes a day. Let's start small, right? But those things helped me. And I started feeling better. I started being a lot more positive, started having more energy. And I started liking people a little bit more. So it helped me to smile more often. It helps me to be a little bit more open to conversation in the morning. And I'm not a morning person, just being honest, I'm not. But I was more personable. And so I'm telling you, these tricks work, all right? As well as investing in what I actually look like for the day. All right, I'm going to give you an example of what my routine looks like. Not in depth in terms of products and things like that, but this is what my routine looks like for anyone interested. It takes me about an hour to get ready in the morning. It didn't always take me an hour. It used to take me about 20 to 30 minutes to get ready on average. And usually it was a pretty simple outfit I was wearing. I didn't really put too much work into how it looked as much as just making sure I was dressed and presentable to leave the house. But when I started doing little things like, maybe I should do my baby hairs. I should sleek down my edges, Maybe I can, start wearing perfume. Maybe I can start accessorizing, right? I realize that takes a little bit more time, a little bit more time, a little bit more effort. And so that's what I did. I started taking care of myself. And again, back to my typical routine. Like if I hop in the shower, right, in the morning and hop out of the shower, I use body butter or a body oil usually, because lotions tend to they last for a little while, but listen, body butter, body oil, that lasts throughout the day, and they smell really, really nice. You can get some really nice long lasting, I'm telling you, the smell is long lasting. Get you some body butter, body oil. I usually put that on after a shower within the first 5 minutes because your pores are wide open, right? And then I actually put some squirts of the perfume or body mist that I want to wear for the day, because again, pores are still open, right? And then I continue getting ready. I get dressed, and then I do my hair, and then I first I do my makeup, or then I do my hair, depending on either or. And then I add my jewelry, and then I add a little bit more of the body mist or perfume that I want to wear, because I put the perfume or body mist directly on my skin after the shower, after moisturizing, and then I add it to the second layer to my clothes that I'm wearing, because it also lingers on your clothes, on your fabrics, so the smell lasts longer throughout the day. And then I like to accessorize. So whatever belt that I'm wearing or jewelry that I choose to wear for the day, if I feel like wearing a watch or something along those lines, um, then I'll add that to my outfit. Or if there's a sweater I want to wear or a certain jacket I want to wear, but I just take my time more. And this does take about an hour for me to get ready. So again, someone might say, well, that's a lot to do in the morning. That's a lot, you know. Can't say I want to do all that, right? And maybe you don't need to do all those things. But I'm telling you, when I started doing it on a regular basis, that's just become my routine now. I'm like on autopilot with it. And it's rare if I don't. Now, I do have my days where sometimes I just, you know, if I got to run out the house real quick or I don't feel like being super dressed up for work, it's fine. I'll wear something more casual. That's fine. But I'm telling you, my confidence level started going up when I started taking care of myself, when I started being more mindful on what I was wearing and how I was pulling myself together. It just became the norm. And it's rare for me not to get dressed up at least once or twice a week at work. When I say dressed up, I mean a more elevated look, because even at my job we have more of a business casual appeal, but I like to have a little bit more of an elevated look, and that means a little bit more time in what I wear. Now, of course, there are some weeks it's busy, and I'll just, you know, wear company attire, or I'll mix it with business attire, or I'll just wear something a little bit more casual. But nonetheless, I like overall 3 out of 5 days a week to usually put a little bit more effort, a little bit more energy into what I'm wearing. And again, there's something about pulling yourself together. It doesn't matter if everybody's not a fan of it. Like, you could wear a tie, right? Let's say you are wearing your little bow tie to work, right? And someone's like, what are you doing wearing that? It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about your suspenders and bow tie. If you like how you pulled yourself together, you wear that look with confidence. And it's just, again, this confidence that emerges from you, it's different. And it's like, it's so powerful to walk into a space with your head held high, not in arrogance, not in cockiness, not in a prideful way, but you're like, I like the way I look today. I feel good about how I pulled myself together, how I coordinated my look. And I can walk in there feeling like a boss, even if I'm no one's boss, right? I can walk in there with confidence. And it's a beautiful thing to do that. And that's why I want you to take some time in your morning routine to just do something for you. I'm not saying you gotta do everything that I've done. Maybe your morning routine looks different. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it is taking a walk, right? Or working out first thing early in the morning, getting up a little bit earlier to do it. But whatever you do, get up a little bit earlier than usual and do something that you usually don't have time to do. Not something that's going to take hours, but again, something that you like that you typically don't have time to do. Even if that means just investing a little bit more time or waking up a little bit earlier to do that thing. Maybe it's getting ready. Maybe it's, again, like going for a walk when just the birds chirping and nature's outside humming and everybody else is asleep. The world is still sleeping. That's a good time to do it, right? And lastly, protecting your peace. That also is a way to love on yourself. Choosing certain battles. And honestly, the older I get, the more convinced I am that I have to watch what battles I choose to fight. Everything's not worth the fight. It's just not. My peace is so much better. It's so worth it. And so I genuinely want all of us to get to a place where we start loving ourselves more. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, because that's all I have for today. But I want to see you love on you. And I'm telling you, whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship, you're going to feel more confident. You're going to start having that wow factor. And I'm telling you, just be consistent. At least 3 I would say start off, if you're just starting off, at least 3 days a week. Implement this at least 3 days a week and see how your life changes within the span of a month. But give it at least 30 days. You got to give it that 30-day trial, right? You give Netflix their 30-day trial. You give Disney Plus their 30 days. Give me 30 days before you criticize it, all right? Again, that's all I have on this episode of the Situationship Expert YouTube channel. I'm your host, India Lynn. Thank you for joining me. If you're not already following me on TikTok, definitely give me a follow. I go live, at least during the recording of this video, I go live during the week. Check my schedule because I usually will update you in my stories the night that I'm going live or sometime during the day. So check my stories for any changes in schedule or if I'm right on time, right? That being said, I am the Situationship Expert on TikTok, so check me out there. But until the next video, take care.